Most of our adult life, especially in the early 20s, we often struggle to do the hard things. Or at least the stuff we're supposed to do. Be it preparing for the test we have to take tomorrow or an assignment we have to submit. Most of the time, we're battling with procrastination. So in this video, we're going to share a strategy with you that will help you to never procrastinate again. By taking the 3 simple steps that you'll learn in this video, be it preparing for that final exam or working on your side hustle is going to be much easier. Once you start implementing these 3 steps, you'll finally find the willpower and motivation to do all of the things you've been procrastinating on. So let's dive in. Number 1. Your brain rejects uncertainty. If someone would offer you $100 today or $150 1 year later, most of you would probably choose $100 now, because a year from now looks like a long time. You'd prefer to take it today because you aren't sure what's going to happen by then. You can invest it and make much more than waiting for another year. When something's vague and uncertain, your brain tries to avoid it at all costs because it might consume a lot of energy. It's counterproductive since your brain is trying to optimize and save the energy for later. Your brain starts coming up with every excuse to delay the task. Let's say you want to prepare for tomorrow's test. You skipped many classes, and it seems unreal to read the entire book in one night. You certainly need much more time. You don't even know where to start. What are the topics you have to study first? Your brain will give you every excuse to postpone it or avoid it entirely by saying that your friend's gonna sit next to you and is gonna help you. Or let's take another example. Every time you want to start doing something productive, your brain jumps in and says, "Let's make a coffee." Or, "How about you check your Instagram and find out who commented on your last picture?" And that's because the task that you have in front of you is vague and uncertain. A simple way to fix that is to break the task into a few small steps. Instead of getting ready for the test, set a goal to read just the first chapter that will take around 10 to 15 minutes. It's going to be much easier to push yourself to focus for 10 minutes. Once you're done with the first chapter, move on to the next. This is the best strategy that you can apply to trick your brain. Instead of setting a goal of accomplishing something, create time blocks. Set a goal of working for 30 minutes, for example, and then take as much of a break as you want. That's much better than setting a goal to study for the entire day. But what you'd actually be doing is watching YouTube videos or Netflix. Number 2. Your stomach controls your neurons. The food you eat directly impacts your brain. And since your brain controls the rest of your body, whatever you had at breakfast will impact your mood, willpower, and overall motivation throughout the day. When you look at the grocery store shelves, most of the products are filled with sugar, just named differently. In fact, sugar's named in 56 different ways, such as dextrose, fructose, glucose, dextrin, and many others. These are all just various forms of sugar. But the side effects of consuming so much sugar are severe. In fact, one of the main reasons you're lazy and can't stay focused for a long period is because you've been consuming too much sugar. Your brain is a complicated object, but what we know for sure is that it functions through hormones or neurotransmitters. One of them is dopamine. That's responsible for your reward system. When you socialize, have fun, grab a slice of cake, or even get good grades, it sends a signal to your brain and releases dopamine. It feels good. That's why you decide to eat another slice of that cake to experience that dopamine spike again. That's why beverage companies add a lot of sugar to their products to make you come back for more. There's nothing wrong with that, but when you consume more sugar than you're supposed to, your dopamine levels start spiking higher and higher. And at some point, that becomes your new normal. So things such as socializing or the satisfaction you get after submitting an assignment do not produce enough dopamine to spike it higher since your new dopamine level is already too high. In other words, you destroyed your reward system. That's why you find it difficult to do anything meaningful. You can't even stay focused for 20 minutes because your brain's craving for that dopamine boost. So you quickly check your Instagram or Facebook to release those neurotransmitters. Heroin, for example, releases even more dopamine than sugar does. That's why it's addictive. Once you get addicted, your new dopamine level will be so high that nothing else will be interesting enough for you to do other than consume that drug. So now, to do the hard thing, control your reward system by controlling your diet. Try to get rid of sugar completely. A single Coca-Cola can has 40 grams of sugar, and a Snickers bar has 12. An average American consumes a little over 71 grams of sugar a day when you shouldn't really consume more than 30 grams a day. Most people have destroyed their reward system, so no matter what technique you're going to use to stay focused, study for that test, or work on your business, you can't until you fix your diet. Start by replacing all of your drinks with water or fresh juice. If you add 2 teaspoons of sugar to your coffee, cut it by half. Replace your Snickers bar with a banana or a watermelon or any other kind of fruit. Your dopamine level will start slowly decreasing to its normal level, and you'll find it much easier to stay focused. Number 3. Don't be a koala. Koalas are one of the dumbest animals out there. No disrespect to koalas, but the fact is, koalas have an unusually small brain. And the size of their brain also reflects the intellectual ability of an animal. But there's a reason for that. And that is that koalas don't need a bigger brain since they sleep for 18 to 22 hours a day, and when they're awake, they eat leaves. Koalas are known for being lazy. In this modern world of technological innovation, most of our jobs consist of sitting in front of a computer. We move much less than our grandfathers did. You see, our bodies are built to move, and our ancestors had to constantly move either to hunt and put food on the table or run away when they came across a predator. Sitting reduces your blood flow, and less oxygen enters your brain and your bloodstream. And guess what your brain needs to stay alive? Exactly, oxygen. So if you're sitting for 10 hours a day, don't be surprised that you find it difficult to stay focused. A National Institute of Health study concluded that adults who spend most of their time sitting have a 50% higher mortality rate. If you sit for more than 6 hours a day, your risk of death increases by a rate similar to smokers. So a simple way to make it easier for your brain to focus is to move. For every 45 minutes you sit, stand up and stretch for 10. If you can work while standing up or walking, do it. Of course, from time to time you have to sit. That's not a big deal if you're moving enough. Studies show that students with high fitness scores have almost always higher test scores. So if you want to make it even better, exercise. Go for a little jog every morning. If you never exercise and suddenly want to run a marathon, you'll probably struggle and won't be able to run for more than 100 meters. Then what makes you think that if you don't keep your brain in shape, you can stay focused and have enough willpower to do the hard things all the time? That's why you have to develop a certain lifestyle if you want to be productive all the time. Without high self-esteem and complete confidence in yourself, it's really difficult to make any significant change in your life. Yes, you'll have difficulty in the beginning, and you'll find yourself backing out of it many times. But with much trial and error, you'll have that knowledge and experience. Thanks for watching, and until next time.